Hey, how's it going guys? Phil here, and this is a review for the Apeman M4 Wireless Mini Pico Projector. You'll receive the projector, a 39-inch micro USB cable, a power adapter, remote control, a 5-foot HDMI to mini HDMI cable, and a brief instruction manual. The projector is a Pico-style projector and measures 3¼ inches square by ½ inch thick. It weighs only 5 ounces. On the front in the corner is the lens, with a focus dial around the corner. Further back you have the external speaker, and on the back of the unit you have the micro USB charging port, USB input port, and mini HDMI in port. The power button is on the right hand side, and on the bottom of the unit are 4 rubber feet that give this projector a bit of stability. I was a bit disappointed to see that the feet weren't adjustable to put the unit at an angle, nor was there a 1/4 inch threaded screw mount for this to be attached to a stand or tripod. That means that wherever you're using this, you'll have to find something that's about the right height for the projector, which often isn't as simple as it sounds. Before using the remote control, be sure to remove the plastic battery saver tab. This projector has an internal battery that, when fully charged, allows the unit to run for about 90 minutes. It's almost enough time for a short full-length film, but in general it falls a bit short. I recommend using an external battery pack to keep the unit powered while watching films. The biggest issue with Pico projectors in general is that their brightness level is pretty low. The M4 has a brightness of only 80 lumens, so this projector's brightness fades pretty fast once the projected image diagonal is longer than 30 inches. That means this projector can't be used outdoors as a 100-inch screen before it gets pitch dark. For smaller projected screens, the image will appear somewhat brighter. From a distance of 5 feet, the projected screen has a diagonal of about 50 inches. To get a 120-inch screen, which is the max, the projector should be set about 12 feet away. When you turn the unit on, you'll be greeted with instructions on how to pair the projector to a mobile device via Wi-Fi for screen sharing. The projector is compatible with both iOS and Android devices, though each has slightly different instructions. If you want to switch devices, use the remote and select the buttons in the bottom left corner. I'll start by testing this unit with a USB device that has an MP4 video loaded onto it. The resolution of the video is actually impressive for such a small projector. The color saturation, when the room is sufficiently dark, is rich and deep with a good amount of accuracy. The video on the USB drive played smoothly with no lagging or stutters. However, the fan in the unit is quite loud, and the external speaker is woefully tiny sounding.
Organizers, and then the main compartment. There's 2 mesh water.
It is disappointing that there's no audio output port for headphones or connecting to an external speaker, which would have made this projector much more useful for activities like watching movies or playing video games. There are functions that are only accessible via the remote control, like volume and mode switching, so make sure you don't lose the remote. Now on to screen mirroring. I'll be using my LG G5 to mirror its screen to the device over Wi-Fi. On my phone, I simply have to pull down the main menu and select screen sharing, while the Android instructions are projected on the screen. From here, I can select the Apeman device and I instantly get my screen and audio from my phone shared to the projector. I did notice a slight delay between what was happening on my phone and what was happening on the projected screen. Also, when watching videos like YouTube streaming to the projector, there was quite a bit of choppiness on the projected video and some dropped audio, even though the stutters weren't present on my mobile device. It seems the amount of data streaming to the projector just isn't buffered well enough for a completely smooth viewing experience. The third way to connect to this projector is to add it to your home Wi-Fi network and stream to it via a DLNA service. Instead of using Miracast, I'll connect to the device's Wi-Fi directly. You can only do this while the iOS instructions are on the screen. Then, opening a browser window on my phone, I'll just navigate to the IP address shown in the bottom right corner. Here you'll see 3 options. The last one, Settings, lets you change the device's password and menu language. Screen mirroring puts the device into Miracast mode. And Internet lets you choose a Wi-Fi network and have the projector connect directly to it. Once connected to your Wi-Fi network, you should be able to use any DLNA service and see the projector as a screen that you can push content to. However, I found that this option is by far the slowest and most unreliable. After executing a command to push content to the device like video, oftentimes it takes almost 10 minutes to load only a 1-minute clip of content. Sometimes in the middle of that, it even needs to buffer. It's just not a good or useful option on this projector in my experience. The final input method is via the mini HDMI input port, which for whatever reason I was not able to get to work with any device. So I have my computer set to output HDMI, and I'll use the included cable that came with the projector. When I plug the cable in, the projector does switch to HDMI mode automatically, yet it tells me that there is no signal, even though if I plug it into a monitor via the HDMI cable, it does work. I tried a variety of different video resolutions on the computer, but I couldn't get the HDMI input to work with any of them. One thing to note is that the unit does get quite warm during operation, which is probably why the fan on it is so loud in the first place. While I like the output resolution and the image quality of this projector, a few things make its use limited, including the lack of an audio output, absence of a way to mount it to a tripod, slow Wi-Fi data streaming, and low brightness overall. The only input that worked flawlessly for me was the USB input. Direct streaming via screen sharing is somewhat useful if you're delivering a PowerPoint presentation or going over documents and images from a mobile phone, but for gaming and movie watching, I would pass on this unit. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I'll put a link to the product in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join me next time.